And so, what is, just is. The recognition of what is, truly the recognition of what is being the presence that is here now. True presence is just the here now. It is the I am that is awareness. I am to feel, I am the simple being is to open to awareness, the presence of being that just is. When we come to the now and we feel the presence that just is, everything else disappears. Everything else disappears. There are no questions. There is no question of choice. There is no question about how to, because all there is the presence of being. All problems dissolve into the now. What we can recognize in the now is that there never was a problem. There never has been a choice. There's only ever been what is, just as it is. And this is the simplicity, the simple truth of being. We can find all sorts of words to explain the mechanisms of consciousness and how that plays as the surface of life, how that plays as a great big tangle. But the truth is, there is no tangle. We just speak of the tangle in order to untangle the illusion of there being a tangle. The truth is, there is no tangle. There is no problem. There is nothing other than this moment, just as it is. When there is a readiness, this profound truth can be expressed, and it lands. It lands as the silence of being. It lands as the recognition of truth that is beyond a need to understand. It is just the profundity of this moment, just as it is. Simply this moment here now. To feel I am. This is awareness. The mind can say, oh, I can't find awareness. I'm not able to do that. That's because it's not a doing. It's not something for the mind or the me to find. It's just what is. It's just the awareness that is here right now. So as these words are coming, do not try to listen. Do not try to understand. Do not try to follow. Do not do a thing. Just be here. Be the openness in which these words are moving. Just like music that has no words. Listen without a listener. Listen as the openness. Listen as the open receiving. Do not listen in the same way as hearing and putting out an extension, a grasp out to hear, to grip onto. What are these words saying? Am I following? Am I getting it right? Let it go. Let it all go. Letting go of doership, letting go of trying, brings you naturally to what is here. What is being pointed to is the simplicity that is always here. The felt sense I am the felt sense of your simple existence. I am, before the first thought, before the name, before the story, the invitation of the divine grace is not to find out, who are you? Tell me your story. Tell me all about you. Tell me what makes you tick and what makes you talk, right? We're not interested. We're interested deeply and profoundly in the simple existence. And in truth, so are you. The only thing that you are truly interested in is existence itself. Whatever the me believes that they are interested in, the only true interest, the only true longing, the only thing that the silent whisper of the heart is pulling you into is to know this simple truth. And this simple truth is already here. So we have to anchor in this. We have to anchor deeper than the meanderings of the mind, deeper than the questions. We have to anchor in the simple truth that just is. What is? What is this present moment? These words are not coming forward to invite someone into an experience. These words come forward to bring the recognition of what is already here underneath what the illusion of someone believes that they want. Underneath the illusion of what someone believes they are here for. These words are the simple truth of the self speaking to itself. These words are not for the me, not for the mind. These words are the self-expression, bringing forward the divine remembering of who you truly are, that you are the self, the illuminated self. You are the truth. You are the resonance of being that just is. The mind and the me likes a teaching. It likes a teaching, full stop. But this is not a teaching. This is truth, plain and simple. The mind and the me likes a teaching that gives meaning, that gives some kind of energy to the questions and the desire mechanism of the me to continue, to perpetuate in its story of itself. So it likes things, teachings, that give meaning and purpose and understanding. It feels really enlivened and lit up, but in a very false way, by a teaching that gives a sense of meaning, gives a sense of indulgence to the me. But truth does not do that. Truth just cuts right through all of that desire to indulge. And it is a resonance where you recognize what is true here now, the self recognizing itself. When we speak you, we are not speaking to someone. It is the self speaking to itself. It is not someone speaking to someone else, because there is no one else. There is no one else. There is only what is, just as it is. And what is love, is grace, is God, is beauty, is the divine, is freedom, is stillness, is silence, is purity, is the immaculate being, just as it is. You cannot find yourself in the realm of the mind. You cannot make an effort in the realm of the mind. You can only recognize the here now in its utter simplicity and be here. Be here. So the mind will say, oh, it's so hard. Attention wanders. Yes, attention wanders. So when there's a noticing, bring it back. Bring it right back. You will be met in truth by the measure, we could say, of your desire for truth. Your willingness, your vigilance, your resilience in remaining, in being here. You will be met by the shining light of yourself here now. The truth is so simple. The mind can immediately hear this speaking and put up a layer of, I don't understand, I don't get it. It's the first defense. It's the first line of protection. But we do not indulge that, because that is not reality. That is not truth. The truth is who you are. Sometimes we enter into the play of the world, the play of consciousness appearing as the world. We enter into it where there is a purity and a possibility of unraveling the knots. But we cannot allow that to become a habit. Because if that becomes a habit, the me says, ooh, I like this. I like talking about myself and my problems. I like hearing about my problems and my suffering. I like exploring and analyzing and evaluating. I like hearing all about my story of my life, right? The me loves it. It loves to talk about itself. So if you give it a little thread, it will run on and tell its story. It will keep telling its story. So we have to keep pulling it back in and saying, no, 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 that is not what we are here for. Yes, love is here to hold those tender places so that they will open like a flower and come to the possibility of true healing and transformation. But true healing and transformation is not the indulgence of the me and the story of the little one, right? Those are just words that we sometimes use to bring a tender peace into divine remembering. In a more practical sense, we use the words stress releasing from the nervous system, right? It's more simple, it's more generic, it doesn't have a personal flavor. Different words come forward to move the pattern of consciousness the way that it needs to be moved and held when there's a readiness for it. But we're never indulging ego. We are never, ever giving a sense of ego the space to believe that it is true and real. We are always only ever inviting those patterns of consciousness that can create a sense of identification to untangle and dissolve into divine remembering. Because this is truth, and truth is true, and truth is love, and it is the only reason that we are here. It is the only meaning of life. It is the only purpose of life. It's not to become anything, but it's not to become a good me. It's not about becoming, right? It's not a journey of becoming. It's about being. It's about being yourself here now. It's about unfolding into the vastness, the infinite, timeless, eternal nature. It's unfolding from the smallness of the misunderstanding that there is some one that is separate from the whole. It is unfolding where there has been a folding in and creating a small protected view. It is about unfolding those layers of protection. And love will use whatever means it has available to love itself home. So, love says, come home now. Enough sightseeing, enough meandering, enough musing. Come home now. Be home now. Be home and recognize the light of the heart is shining right here now. Let go of the illusion that there is something that you need to do, that you need to perfect the me in order to be worthy. This is not true. You are worthy just by the nature of your being, just by the nature of your simple existence. You are more than worthy. You are the purity, the openness that is worthiness itself. You are the principle of worthiness that is beyond worthy and unworthy, right? This is where we speak of choicelessness. You are beyond choice. You are beyond question. Yes, we live where we live and we play the game, but we play the game in order to be free of the game, in order to refine everything into the holy truth that is wholeness. And that is where we meet in this moment as the I am presence. I am is awareness. When you speak in your innermost being, I am, and you feel, I am, I am. You feel your own existence, and this is awareness. I am. We don't need to say, I am awareness. I am is the pointing that points to reality. I am. Silence, right? Following I am, silence. The present, the present, the one present that is presence itself. I am. Just simply being. There's no meaning to give to these words. There's nothing to understand. There's just the simplicity of being yourself exactly as you are. There's nothing to do. There is no doer. That is part of the illusion. So as long as there is a felt sense of being the doer, there is a sign for you. How kind. How kind. There is a sign. If you feel like the doer, come to the now. Let it go. Do not try to work out, how do I get out of doership? How can I believe that there is no doer when I feel like a doer? Let it go. Feel the presence just being here now. I am. I am. Is the presence of being wondering about doership? Of course not. Is the presence of being wondering about anything? Of course not. But feel that and confirm it in your direct experience, Because as you confirm what is being pointed to in your direct experience, it lands as truth. The self recognizes itself. The being recognizes being. It's this simple. It's this simple. And yes, attention will attempt to wander, because the habit that has been learned is for attention to wander towards the moving, changing. But every time there is a noticing, you come back, here now, the being. The being has nothing to do with the me. It's not about being a more refined version of me. You are the being. This is the truth. You are the being. You are the self. You are not a me. There is no me that is separate from the being. Let's be clear about this. There is no separation. There is only wholeness. So let us meet right now. I am. When these words echo, when they resonate in the innermost being opens to the one being. So this is where we meet underneath the play of character and individuality. Right now, I am open to where we are the same, open to love, open to the heart, open to wholeness. Let us be here together as the one that is, the one that just is, simply being here. Let us let go of everything else, of your story, my story, the whys and the hows and the buts and the shoulds, the story of the life. Let it all go and let us meet here now. I am. Open the door to openness and meet where we are the same. Meet here where we are the same. What do you see? Do you see the beauty that you are? Do you see the light that you are? Do you feel the simplicity that you are, unburdened of story? Do you feel the truth that is so simple? Lay down your burden. Lay down the idea of a doer, a wanter, a needer, an enjoyer. Let it all go right now in this moment. This moment, here now. Let us meet where we are the same. Let us meet as love, meeting itself and just reveling in the gorgeousness. Wholeness knowing itself, seeing only itself. And then of course, all that is here is love, because there's no protection, there's no barriers, there's no veils, there's no you and me. There's just this utter openness. And right here now we can meet unprotected, unedited, unguarded. In this moment is the open invitation, where openness itself is offering itself. Love itself is offering itself. It's offering an open invitation. There are no conditions. Be here now. Camera on, camera off. Be here in the sameness. Be here as yourself. I am is awareness. This moment is so holy. This moment is so whole. This moment is so sacred. This moment is the only moment, just as it is. And this moment opens to absolutely all that is here now. This moment is not saying that there is anything outside of wholeness. As this moment here now, as we meet in the sameness, as we meet as the open field that is presence itself, the openness allows everything, right? So you are the openness. The self is the openness, the open field, the infinite, unbounded. There are no edges, no limits, no conditions. There is no time. There's only now. You are the timeless, spaceless, locationless being. And this openness is the stillness, the presence. Feel yourself here now. Feel how this openness is so open and welcoming that it's not pushing anything away because it's not doing anything. It's not judging or evaluating anything. It's aware simply of this whole moment. And this whole moment includes, we could say, the environment that you find yourself in. It includes the flow of thoughts, if they might come in. They come in and they move through the moment. You're the moment. You're watching everything that's coming and going. But you're not editing this moment. You're not trying to create a spiritual mood or grasp onto this. We're not meeting in a secret club, right? The club of being. We're not meeting here and it excludes anything. We're meeting here in what is true, the open heart, the unguarded heart, and it welcomes everything. But it does not, okay, here's the key. Attention does not wander and grasp outwards. You are the awareness that is simply aware. You are safe here. Nothing can get you. Nothing can touch you because you are just watching. It's just like watching a movie. When you are watching a movie, it could be the greatest horror, but nothing can get you. Nothing can get you. It doesn't jump out of the screen and get you. It just doesn't happen, right? It's like that. Nothing can touch you. Your knowing of yourself just being here is the ultimate protection. There are no problems here. There's just yourself. You are open and welcoming, but you are the awareness. You are aware of what is moving and changing, but you are not touched by anything. If attention wanders out and it identifies, just like we could say, if you're watching a movie and you start engaging with the characters and what's happening, you start to feel fear, right? Or you start to feel sadness or anxiety, right? You can get really involved. Your life is just the same. It's just a movie. How involved are you getting in that movie? Notice how that character, let's watch that character now. What does that character want as it's moving through the movie of its life? It wants freedom. It wants love. It wants connection. It wants truth. How much time and energy is that character spending actually being focused with what it wants? And how much energy is it spending in being where the attention has wandered and identified with the movie and playing out as if the story is true? Oh, interesting. No comment, no opinion, just an interesting open awareness, right? You just see it. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong, but you just bring the awareness to it. When you bring awareness, the light shines. Do you notice how the ego burns a little, stings a little, right? There's no judgment. There's nothing happening. But what can happen is the mind can come in and start criticizing itself, right? So then the being that you are, this true meeting, it has no opinion. It's just brought the awareness to look at what's happening in the movie. Did the attention wander? Did the mind come in and make a comment? It's just to notice. It's just to notice. Have you already created a manifest for trying harder and putting more effort in to what you're truly longing for? Right? Are you resting as the being that's just seeing and smiling? Are you loving that character? Are you loving that one? Are you loving that one? Are you seeing the innocence with compassion and kindness of how that one thinks that all of that stuff in the movie is important and gives so much energy and relevance to it? Just watch it. Watch it as open awareness. Watch it as love. Watch it as kindness. Feel how you, as the being, are not touched by any of it. That none of that has any relevance to the being. So this is where we speak. Just be still and watch. No action is the purest. No reaction is the purest, the most simple. It is just to be still and watch. When you are still and you watch, the being is not touched, but simultaneously you can feel the energy that gets stirred in the nervous system because you are aware of it. But you are not that energy. You are not that. You are the simple, untouched awareness of it. But because of the extraordinary way that consciousness manifests, you can feel it as aliveness. It feels very real. So then you feel the feelings, the stirring, the turbulence, the discordant. You feel it as energy. It doesn't exist separate from the whole. And as you feel it, recognizing that you are not touched by it, you can allow whatever gets stirred in the nervous system to just be allowed to unwind, de-stress, and release with great simplicity. You are the vessel for the alchemizing of these patterns of consciousness that have learned to move in certain ways. You are the distillery. And when you feel the feelings, you are distilling that energy that the mind can interpret as a problem. You're distilling it through the nervous system so that it comes to divine remembering and it settles into the nowness of being and remembers. It's like a tangled pattern unravels and just starts to flow more effortlessly. Has only ever been the one consciousness, has only ever been love, has only ever been innocence. And when you are seeing from the true perspective, here now, just being, you can see the innocence of everything that is playing on the surface of life, can see the innocence of the character, how everything is innocently attempting to protect itself while longing to unguard and let go, surrender everything into the vastness. So perhaps you can feel here now how it is not possible to do this with the mind. It is only possible to be here now. I am. I am. Feel. Speak in your innermost being, I am. Feel the resonance. I am. This is awareness. This is the awareness that is true nature. You are the aware being that just is. As the aware being, you are here now, only here now. This is the simple truth. There is nothing else. This is consciousness. Awareness, aware of itself, is consciousness. Has an aliveness, a conscious knowing. And this conscious knowing is the key to deepening into finer and finer values of the self that you are. Simply being. All questions are resolved in the being. All questions are resolved here now. There is a simplicity, a purity. The knowing of this truth is silence, is stillness. It is the true present that is presence itself. The more there is a coming to this truth, feeling the I am presence and resting here and just watching, everything unravels all by itself. Everything that feels to be tangled and can be interpreted by the mind, everything that can pull the attention, it unravels all by itself. Even that part, it's not a doing. You are not doing the refinement. You are just being the awareness. You are being the openness of the heart that is kind and loving, and allowing the play of life to untangle itself into divine remembering. You feel yourself here now. I am just being. Simple existence. This is awareness. It's so simple. There's nothing to do. It's all about being. When you can feel the profundity of this simplicity, there is a relaxation, a surrender. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing more. When you are resting here now and you can feel the truth, it is to rest in the resonance of truth that is the knowing. It's your knowing. Your knowing is the self knowing itself, the being just being. We meet here now in the oneness that is the heart, in the holiness that is the heart, that is love, that is God, that is the Mother. If this is what is truly longed for, then abandon everything else right here now and be here. Be here. Be the freedom that is longed for. Be the truth that is longed for. Be here now as yourself, only yourself. Receive the unconditional invitation of your very own self to shine this glory, to shine this truth right here now. It is not an achievement or an attainment that you have to work out. How do I stay here? How do I hang on to this? How do I live this? You just be here now. If there's a feeling that you are not here now, then be here now and you are free. Do not let the story grab you about how hard it is. Just be here now and watch. Be the silence that is aware and simple. That's all. That's all. You can see from here that who you truly are has got nothing to do with who you thought you were or who you think you are. But that is the illusion. That you never have been a separate individual. There are no separate individuals. You cannot work out with the mind how this is true. You can only be here now and be so intimate with your innermost being, so intimate with your own self, so intimate with the indweller that is the light of God, so intimate with your very own heart. Start being unguarded with your very own self, being unprotected in your own inner landscape. Because there is no one else to do this for or be here with but yourself. You are not taking a risk of unguarding yourself with anyone else but yourself. You are letting down your guard and protection in your own innermost world. And when you let down your guard with yourself and you meet yourself, you recognize that the world that you have imagined that you need to protect yourself from has never existed in reality. That all of the protection is just protecting you from all of your ideas and stories about what the world is. And when the world, as you have imagined it, dissolves into this moment, and there is only this moment, truly, and you know yourself, then you open your eyes to a new reality. You open your eyes to a divine reality. You are not reborn. You are not reborn as the being. You are in the knowing of the birthless, deathless being that you are. You are in the eternal now. And you open your eyes and you do not engage the senses and you see only yourself. You see only God, only the divine. And then you see how the world is God. The world has only ever been God. And you have only been seeing it through veils and filters and misunderstandings. That there is only the glory shining. And everything is shining to guide you to this divine remembering. As these words come, feel the resonance. Feel the resonance as your own revelation. You do not have to see what is being spoken, but come to the felt sense of where you can feel truth, where you can feel the resonance of truth, where there is recognition. Stay intimate with recognition, and the rest will happen all by itself. Do not be looking for an appearance that the mind wants to create or achieve or attain. Be only in your own true direct experience, and let the revelation be the revelation of your own self, your own heart. It is coming to recognize your very own heart in its true nature, undressed, before the story, prior to the misunderstanding, prior to the idea that I belonged to me, before the idea that I belonged to anyone. The revelation that I is I is I. It is all there is. I is the isness of what is. The here now, undressed of time, undressed of space, undressed of experience, save the direct experience of the self knowing itself. Feel the aliveness of the knowing. As you open to receive the resonance of your knowing, the whole field starts to resonate with more fineness. Can hear in these words the enlivened, animated, energetic of the knowing. This is your knowing. This is the mirror, the reflection of the openness of your heart knowing itself. This is the glory shining as your own heart. This is about being here with yourself, so fully, so raw, so real, so undone of story, so undone. That all that remains is the light shining. All that remains is the beauty, the magnificence that you are. All that remains is the love that is here without condition. Happiness and joy that is simple. It is the revelation. Let the revelation have you. Let the revelation swallow every single thread of the me that could be subtly resisting. Let the revelation eat you alive. Yes, yes, says the me, swallow me whole. If you really mean it, you will be swallowed whole into wholeness, into the wholeness. But the only moment is this moment here now. Only here now. You cannot grasp it. You cannot contain it. You cannot own it. You cannot get it right. You cannot achieve it. As soon as you reach for it, it will disappear. Because existence itself is non-existent. Being itself is not existent or being in the way that we imagine. Existence itself does not exist in a way that it can be grasped. It is before those kind of ideas, right? So do not try to touch it. Do not try to make it yours. Know that you belong to it. And when you land in this knowing, there is no more someone that wants something, that you are it, you are all of it. You are all of it. To try to grasp it is to give it up for something small and meaningless. Do not give it up. Do not give yourself up for something small and irrelevant. You cannot own it because you are it. You cannot become it because you already are it. You cannot try to hang on to it because there's no one to hold on to anything. There are no edges here. There are no boundaries here. There is just the infinite being, being itself. You are it. Be it. Be yourself here now and feel the revelation of the beauty that you are. Feel your heart, the grace, the truth, the simplicity, the silence of the self, illuminated in and of itself, shining, shining as the supreme, as this holy moment that is whole and illuminated and rarefied with its own immaculate presence. Let your inner knowing, let the openness of your heart shine as the divine smile that is beaming, ever beaming. In every moment, love is offering itself to you. Your heart is offering itself to you in every single moment here now. Are you receiving your own self in the nowness of this moment? Or are you off sightseeing? Are you meandering in the illusion of a journey? It does not matter what the body is engaged in. The self is never touched. Who you are is not the body, not the mind. You are the eternal, timeless space in which body and mind are happening as flows of consciousness. Be yourself here now. Be yourself here now. Be yourself here now. It's this simple. There is no past, there is no future. It is to be yourself here now, and then watch as the body is moved in the movie of life. But you never leave yourself. This is the glory. This is the glory.